Sight Unseen Movie Reviews. Movies suck. We'll review them so you won't have to watch them. And neither will we. God once sent a flood that nearly wiped out mankind. After the waters receded, he made a rainbow as a promise that he would never do that again. So far, he's kept his word. After 1999, God punished us again and ruined our movies, especially our blockbusters. Almost 20 years later, we're still waiting for another rainbow. In the meantime, we must content ourselves with watching movies we've already seen or waiting for the uncommon surprise, the good movie that goes into wide release. But tickets aren't cheap and theater going can be an expensive hobby. It pays to survey the road ahead and get a good idea of where we want to spend our resources. May is upon us, the traditional start of the blockbuster season. So let's take a look at a few upcoming releases and see whether they'll be worth checking out or not. The formula isn't complicated. How does the trailer look? Who wrote the screenplay? What sort of contextual clues can we get? And most importantly, who is the director? Up first, Han Solo, a Star Wars story. The context is the most salient category here. Directors have been hired and fired, much or even most of the movie has been reshot, and the lead actor was asked to take some acting classes partway through the shoot. Nothing about that doesn't indicate a disaster. And while the writer, Lawrence Kasdan, is a dependable man from way back, Disney is developing a reputation for micromanaging their Star Wars movies, and micromanagement from the producers can make a mess of the best script. The trailer looks fine, about what you would expect from $200 million or whatever the budget was. I don't see any red flags here, and at the very least, Lando Calrissian looks like he's going to be an interesting character.
I heard a story about you. I was wondering if it's true.
Everything you've heard about me is true.
However, the art of the trailer has advanced, while the art of making the actual movie is in decline. I've seen a lot of trailers that looked great, but their movies were abysmal. The brightest ray of hope is Ron Howard, who was brought on to salvage a calamity in the making. Ron Howard knows how to tell a story, and his hit rate with movies is pretty decent. His best effort is many years behind him, but with a director of his caliber, extensive reshooting may not be such a bad thing. But I still can't get past Disney's micromanaging. The recent Star Wars movies have failed to deliver a truly good movie, and not for lack of directorial talent. The last one was a turd, and this one is so plagued with problems I just don't see it amounting to much. Ron Howard will work a little magic, but in the end, this one will be a bit of mild fun, like a roller coaster, without being that memorable. Next we have Deadpool 2. The context here is in its favor. Ryan Reynolds has found the character he was born to play. The last movie brought an entirely new perspective to the genre that went over very well, and yet the first movie wasn't much as far as the story goes. It survived on Reynolds' charisma and not much more. If the first movie is a grand slam home run, the sequel usually sucks. But if the first movie is solid but with room to grow, that's actually a pretty good indicator, and that is definitely the case here. The writers have a hit-or-miss resume, but really this movie is going to be about the ad-libbing. If they can cobble together a decent plot, this one should do quite well. And how is the ad-libbing?
Sorry I'm late. I was rounding up all the gluten in the world and launching into space where it can't not hurt us ever again. We're gonna form a super-duper fucking group. We need them tough, morally flexible, and young enough to carry their own franchise for 10 to 12 years. And that is why Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is pure pornography.
Oh, God, I wish I finished college.
Looking good to me. Just like the last time, it'll be interesting to see which takes make the final cut.
And that is why the man bun is just a millennial mullet.
Oh, God, I wish I finished college.
I've got a good feeling about this one. Well, mostly a good feeling. Okay, get that off the screen. The only real point of concern is the director, a sophomore whose freshman effort didn't exactly create waves in the industry. But it was at least competent, and again, this one is going to live or die with the ad-libbing. Add in an at least mildly interesting plot, and this one should be a winner. You might want to show up for this one. Our third film is the hardest to read. Terminal looks like an offbeat, sexy, dark comedy from writer and director Vaughn Stein. The best indicator of future performance being past performance, Terminal remains a mystery. One is always tempted to hope that the next great auteur has arrived in situations like these, but there's little to go on other than the trailer. Some actors with heft have showed up for this one, and the visual aesthetic looks great. They're going for quirky characters.
No trains till tomorrow. 404 going north.
404's an age away. It's not time that I'm trying to kill.
Want my advice?
Not really.
Just end it.
With a bit of neo-noir sexy appeal.
Maybe a filthy lap dance if I can get one. Say whatever you want.
Oh, well, that is a very poor choice of words.
Okay, if we're going to combine faces and crotches, that's the way to do it. Someone let Ryan Reynolds know. I like the presence of Simon Pegg. He's a smart actor who finds his way into pretty decent movies even when he isn't writing them. I think this one turns out to be a lot of fun, although probably not a masterpiece. Lastly, we have Future World, directed by James Franco and Billy Thierry Chiomi, who has not directed anything well received. Franco, until recently, hadn't done too much better. And it's post-apocalyptic, and the trailer looks...
I've been looking for you for a long time.
well, like that. And Mila Jovovich has shown up, she of Resident Evil fame. I'm not seeing a whole lot of reasons to be optimistic here. I think this one is pretty easy to call. Stay home. Or have fun at Deadpool 2 or Terminal. That's all for May. Thanks for stopping by. Come back for next month for the next Sight Unseen movie reviews, because there's nothing like a summer movie.